Welcome back, old Daz from Arduino Techniques here. So up this week we're doing a video on a new piece of kit that I bought. Obviously I've been getting into building PCBs of late and I've found it very difficult sort of juggling all the bits and pieces and all the components going on that. So what I ended up buying was a circuit board clamp kit. So I'm going to walk you through what I like about it and what I don't like about it. Big shout out to all my Patreons out there. Every little bit counts. I will put a link below if you wish to help me out on my journey to keep the content rolling. So don't forget, subscribe, like, click that little bell icon to be notified of upcoming content. That's enough of the waffle. Let's get started. This video is proudly sponsored by PCBWay. If you're a tinkerer, inventor, or advanced electrical engineer, you need to check out PCBWay or you are seriously missing out. They are passionate about PCBs ranging from standard to advanced PCBs with 1 to 30 layers with full-featured printed circuit boards. PCBWay don't stop there. They offer basically everything you need to make your ideas a reality. Whether you need 3D prints, injection molding or CNC machining, assembly or basic PCB manufacturing, they can do it all for highly competitive prices. So let's start with a little bit of an unboxing here. So what we're looking at here is the two cross members which form part of the lower platform. These cross members appear to be powder coated aluminium. And as you can see, we've got rubber feet on both sides for stability and grip so it doesn't move around on your bench top. So the screws I'm undoing here is so we can then insert the uprights. So that's the main body of the holder. So as you can see, the uprights will screw down to the feet part we've already spoken about. So to give you some sort of idea, the black horizontal aluminium tube there, the uprights are actually like a hardened plastic. So it's just a matter of lining the screws up and then driving them home with a Phillips head screwdriver. Now we've got the holder assembled. I'll show you with one of my PCB boards. So that's the LocoNet interface PC board that I did a video on earlier. I'll link to that below. So what we're doing here, we're just narrowing the two claws, so to speak, to hold the board. So what I'm sort of finding, you need to sort of center the PCB board or the horizontal support just for stability. So you've got the size of what you need for the PCB board. It's just a matter of those little thumb screws that I just did there. So there's another one on the back edge there. I'm not quite sure why they're not on the same side, but it's just what they've done. And it's just a matter of getting it in there. So you need a little bit of attention on the spring there just to hold that PCB. That's what I'm sort of doing there, just to align the holder. Now this is the first time I've used this on camera, so I am having a bit of a play here to actually work out how to use it. Obviously there's no instructions with this little holder. So those thumb screws there, what they actually do, they hold those two clamps not so much in place. You can still swivel it, but so they don't go in and out any further. So once you sort of lock it into place. So as you can see, it's just a matter of just loosening one of the thumb screws off and then you can take the PC board out reasonably quickly and then attach it back in. You've got a full 360 degree range of movement to move around. As you can see, if you do loosen it up too much, the PCB ball will just slip out. So what I'll probably find, you'll need to just add a little bit more tension on that spring there. So that's just a matter of bringing the feet in a little bit closer, just adding a little bit of tension on that springs just to hold it in there a little bit nicer. So you can see I'm just adjusting it a little bit more there. So I'm sure once you've had a bit of a play with it, it'll work much nicer. So what we're going to look at doing now is soldering this little IC socket here. So that's just put in place. So obviously the issue is going to be is some of your components, as it just happened, just going to drop straight back out. So I'm interested in what people do here to keep them in place when you're using such a tool. Put in the comments below what you're actually doing. So what I'm going to use is just some painter's tape, which is low tack, so it just holds it in place just to make sure it's seated nice and firmly against the PCB board. That's the beauty of this holder. You can just flip it over and then we'll just start getting into soldering. So I will tilt it forward just to show you what I'm doing here. So obviously this is not a lesson on how to solder. I'm definitely not the person to show anyone how to solder. So, but what I would find, having it just a slight angle, angled back towards me when I solder. So this is obviously the 8-pin version. So I'll just quickly go through and we'll solder those up. As you can see, you've got a reasonably stable platform when you're soldering there as well, which is always good. Previously, before I did this, the limited circuit boards I had sort of soldered up. I sort of did fight with them on the bench, just trying to keep all the components in place, so to speak. So there's the finished product. So obviously a few more to do on that LocoNet interface, but it's a good start there. Let's go through some of the pros and cons that I've come up with here. So the pros we're going to be looking at: held in place by the spring clamp, and it can be rotated front to back with a 360-degree movement. The movable arm has a cushion grip so it doesn't damage your PCB board. Got a reasonably heavy base, which I believe is reasonably well balanced for the center of gravity. Obviously got the rubber feet, which is the non-slip or anything, sorry, built in is the rubber feet for non-slip on your work surface. Now this could be a pro or a con, depending which way you look at it. I'm going to put it as a pro. Can take up to 20 centimeter length in PCB, and also I like it the swivel angle for the different workable angles when you are soldering your PCB board. So some of the cons are it's quite large sort of piece of kit. It takes a fair bit of bench space up if you've only got a small bench. Now, as I pose the question to you, how do you hold down the components in place? Please comment below. As I showed before, I'm using tape. Now, I'm assuming there's more expensive versions out here that might have other options. You might be able to tack some other options onto it. So maybe some lights or something similar, or a magnifying glass or something similar. Please comment below what you think about that side of things. Also, I'm not into tools that are used for one purpose only. So I can only see this tool being used for one purpose, and that's for soldering PCBs. Obviously, an important piece of kit though. Build quality on this particular version is okay, I think. The screw holes that you put the plastic vertical uprights, I did sort of cross burr the screw, so be very, very mindful when you're putting that in. And I believe if you're soldering some really small PCB boards, it might become a little bit problematic just trying to get in there. I've got some DCC to Arduino interfaces that I'm going to be soldering up soon in an upcoming video, so see what you think. So that's the end of the video. So please comment below if this is the sort of piece of kit that you may use or may not use. I think moving forward for us model railroaders or anyone who's into electronics, I think it's probably a necessity to have one of these. Now the footage that you're seeing there is some footage I took of a local steam train that I went on with South Australian Railways RX224 out of on the Victor Harbour turntable. Yes, I love my trains, and this is about a PCB board, but I thought people might want to see what other things that I've been up to. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Make sure you subscribe, click that little bell icon to be notified of upcoming videos. Support us on Patreon, like us on Facebook and Instagram at Model Railroad Technique.